welcome to the Japan Cricket Podcast with your host, Sakurano Thomas. I guess this is my first podcast being in charge of this great podcast. So if you didn't hear in the last episode, I will be taking the reins from the great Alan Kerr. I'm sorry if you prefer his British voice over my Kiwi voice, but I guess it's just something you're going to have to deal with from now on. I'm currently deep in the depths of the classrooms inside the Sano International Cricket Ground. It's not very aesthetic, is it? I'm sorry about the camera quality and probably the mic quality. Hopefully this will get better in the future, but please bear with me. Anyway, this podcast, we're going to be talking about the very busy month of April and May we just had. It's been very busy times at the JCA as of late. We're going to be talking all the way from the Futures League up until the WJPL. And then talking about those events, don't worry, I'm not going to be talking about myself the whole time. I'm going to be having on some guests to talk about those particular events, so stay tuned. As always, please give this podcast a rating and a review, or if you're watching on YouTube, please give it a like or comment or what else you do on the social medias. I'm always looking for new guests and people to join, so flick me a message and let me know. Anyway, without further ado, let's get underway and bring on our first guest. Alrighty, so with my first guest, I have opposites of me is Dino. Dino is what are you, Dino? You're the high performance coordinator for the Japan Cricket Association. He's the women's national team coach and the under-19 national coach. Is that everything?
No.
Welcome, Dino. How are you?
Not bad, mate. Not bad. Thanks for having me. And looking forward to the chat.
Thanks for coming on. I would have been lonely talking by myself about all these events. So thanks for helping me out. I've got Dino alongside of me to talk about the Futures League. What is the Futures League? So for people that don't know, it's the national under 23-year-old competition that we have. It's a 4-team, 2-day T20 comp where we get the best players in Japan and Japanese players that live overseas. So, Dino, how did this year's Futures League go? It's the third one that we've had. So what was Futures League number 3 like from your experience?
Yeah, I guess to start off, I think the general feedback from the players who took part, they were calling it the best I've had in over the course of 3 years, which is always good to hear, especially after all the work which goes into organizing these tournaments and making sure you give everyone a great cricket experience. But yeah, I think from the outside in, looking in, it looked pretty good, better than the last two. I think it was better team balance. The standard of cricket was much better, and it was a great event to be part of.
Yeah, so the Futures League is like our first of the big tournaments that we have. It's on the back end of April. I think we were all a bit worried before the tournament because all of our machinery was broken. We didn't know if we could prepare pitches before the start of the competition. But the pitches actually played all right, better than we hoped for. The standard, as I said, I played in the first Futures League and have been coaching in the last two. And from what it's been like in the first year to what it is like now, it's incredible. Off the top of my head, I think we had like over 20 players coming from overseas to come along. So there's big interest for young kids to come along. And it was pretty good. Do you have any favorites, memories or highlights from the competition?
Well, just before I get into your next question, I'll just add on to what you just said with regards to pitches. I think the pitches contributed immensely to the standard of cricket. And I think across the 2 days, there were quite a lot of runs, which is not a regular occurrence when you play at the SICG. But to see some teams scoring runs and some batters getting stuck in and making good scores and a couple of teams chasing a bit some big scores as well was very exciting. Moving on to favorite memories from the tournament, I guess just the teams gelling together quickly, and as it's or start of a very busy cricket period, to just have the tournament run properly, seeing kids having a good cricket experience and setting us up for the other events which came after that was probably one of the most important highlights in my book. And I guess to finish off, seeing Nikhil Pol dominate. Nikhil Pol dominating with the ball and bat was pretty impressive from such a young guy. So yeah, kudos to him for that.
Yeah, so Nikhil Pol, as Dino mentioned, took out the best batter, scoring a 79 runs. No, that's not right. He scored 148 runs with the bat at an average of 37, top scoring with 58. He also took out the tournament MVP as he took 9 wickets as well. So, yeah, he dominated that comp. And it was good seeing that because he was a player that's been brought up through the Japan systems. So, yeah, good to see him. And he also carried his team to their second win in a row, the Gorillas. It's their second back-to-back championships along Coach Vinay, who would be very happy. Vinay is the national team under-16s coach. So, yeah, he took out that. The Gorillas beat my Vipers, who my Vipers have been last every year, but we somehow made the final. And who was leading the Vipers team? It was Charlie, who took out the bowler of the tournament, taking 10 wickets and an economy rate of 4. Charlie was a player that came over from Brisbane, and last year we didn't really know anything about him, but now he's like one of the best bowlers that we have in Japan and just 15 years old. So yeah, it was good seeing those two dominate this competition, who are a part of the under-19 team, Dino's team, who've played a lot of cricket last year. So yeah, apart from Nikhil and Charlie, we had a few new faces, new people that we've never seen before. Dino, do you want to mention some of the names that came over that you didn't know about that impressed you?
Yeah. Obviously, I think a name which comes to mind is the young Kai Wall. Very impressive. Young left arm, quick. Yeah, swings the ball in. Falls into the wicket and falls with great control too. I think he's a good find, and I think going forward he will definitely have lots to offer to Japan cricket. Also, like to mention Jack Stavridis. Met Jack last year over in Darwin. He came to watch the Japan under-19 team, and he got involved quite a bit over there and managed to come down to the Fishes League, which is really good. He got involved and showed what he can do as well. And there's Dylan. Yeah. Dylan led entry, made it through and made an impact. A good ball striker, and very young man, full of life. So it's exciting times for this group of players. Excited to see how they develop in the next few years and how they can continue to sort of start to infiltrate into the men's national team, under-19 teams, and hopefully bring a bit of success to those national squads.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been, the Futures League seems like it was years ago now, but it was only about a month ago, and no, it was definitely good. Obviously, we have the known faces like Declan Suzuki, Lachlan Yamamoto-Lake, Tifa Yamamoto-Lake, who are still got a couple more years in the Futures League, so that obviously brings the level up, having some national team players in there. But yeah, what do you think this tournament's going to look like in the future? Because obviously, I heard from Alan that the first year that the Futures League was on, you could barely get 56 players to make 4 teams, but this year we had over, was it like 100 registrations? So it's obviously hard turning people down that are keen to get involved. So what do you think the future has? Do we have more teams, or is it going to be split into an under-19 Futures League and an under-23? What do you think?
Probably, I think I'll go with just making it an under-19 tournament.
Yeah.
that way we could sort of try to give the younger kids who are missing out at the moment a fair crack to have a go and have a feel of what the tournament is all about. But I guess, like you mentioned, a few names there like Declan, Lockie, were pretty seasoned campaigners and should be playing at a high level. But I guess, yeah, I think we're looking forward to maybe sort of make it an under-19 tournament, maybe an extra team. And yeah, but I guess from where we are now, we don't want to be moving back. I think the tournament and the format is as it is now has improved over the last few years. Sort of hard to tinker with what's working and what's going on well. So it's just a matter of refinement from now. Just ensure that all the younger players who missed out get a crack, and we continue to have a good clear pathway of young under 14, 15, under 16 cricketers who can compete at the next level.
Yeah, for sure. But from what we've talked about, there's only positives, right? Coming out of this tournament. Sure. And for sure, the Futures League does act as our under-19 trials, per se, for our national teams. So, yeah, definitely having more people that are eligible and wanting to get into our national teams is a good thing. And I think the teams for those will be announced soon. So keep watching out for that. And then to add on to what's happening with the under-16s, under-19s for the rest of the year, what's coming up in the future schedules?
Under 16, under 19, I guess from an internal perspective, is just the camps, training camps every month, as per usual. However, we've got a new camp structure which is been put place over the winter, when we're giving it a run this year and see how it can sort of accelerate the development of our cricketers across all our pathways. The under 16 and under 19 will be playing in the Community Cup. Those two have a Japan Academy team in there. Make sure the boys are used to playing together and playing as a group and spending time together. And to finish off, I guess, under 19 to the Asia Cup later this year. Yeah. So that's very exciting. Second time running for the Japan under 19 team at the Asia Cup. Hopefully they give a better account of themselves, and we can manage to get a win and at least compete with the big dogs at the highest level. So yeah, it's exciting times, especially for the under 19s. But the under 16s do have something to look forward to early next year with an Asia Cricket Council pathway event planned early next year. So there's lots of cricket to look forward to. But I guess the most important thing at this moment in time is to ensure that everyone is getting better, everyone is ready when the opportunities come.
Yeah, for sure. And both under 15s and under 19 leagues in Japan have already gone underway. So, yeah, we'll be watching those scores and noting down good performances. So, yeah, there's lots of opportunities there. And, yeah, if you haven't already, please go check out the Futures League games. They're all up on our YouTubes, the full games, and I'm pretty sure the highlighted versions as well. So, yeah, there's some good close games on that. So, yeah. Apart from that, I think that was nice and short and sweet, Dina. Anything else to cap off?
No, just follow Japan Cricket on the socials. Exciting time for Japan Cricket. Watch the games on stream, and we're always keen for a chat. If you've got any questions with regards to cricket or Japan Cricket, please don't hesitate to get a hold of us.
Perfect. Thanks for coming on, Dino, and talk to you soon.
Thanks, bye.
All right. So, for my next guest, sitting opposite of me, I have Elena Kasudanen. She was the WJPL tournament organizer. She's the female development officer for the Japan Cricket Association, and she's a national team player and a member of the Eastern Waves. Did I get everything? Okay, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Second time on the pod.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Just not with Ellen. I'm the new Helen. All right. So with me, like I said, I have Elena, and she is going to be talking about the WJPL, how it went, how the new structure was. If you don't know anything about the WJPL, it's a 2-team tournament, and we played over a week. It was a 5-game T20 series and then a 3-match T20 series. This year, it was the Eastern Waves and the Western Eagles again, same 2 teams, some different players. But if we have a recap, last year it was the Eastern Waves who won 3-0. This year, the story was a bit different, where the Western Eagles actually won the T20 series 2-1. And it was in the T10 series, it was the Eastern Waves who beat the Western Eagles 4-1. Do you want to just talk about the tournament in general, how it went, what the stand was like?
Yeah, so definitely with it being our second year of running, the tournament was running a lot more smoother, and obviously there's still things that we do need to improve on. However, with the T10 series, allowed the girls to actually try and actually hit bigger for shorter balls, basically. And that was to incorporate that also in the T20s to help our girls especially score a few more runs, which I think ended up being quite good, like a good addition to this series as well. With the tournament itself, I think the teams gelled quite quickly together, which was great to see with the addition of 10 international girls, 2 from each country: Australia, South Africa, Sri Lanka, Indonesia, and Vanuatu. They definitely helped raise the standard this year, as well as the efforts and the commitment that the Japanese girls have been putting into their training as well.
Yeah, for sure. Personally speaking, last year I wasn't involved at all, but this year I was fortunate enough to coach the Western Eagles. So yeah, just from my perspective, I definitely thought the standard was better. The pitches last year were difficult, and they were improved this year as well, so that helped the matches. But yeah, definitely they were much more even, because maybe like 4 out of the 8 games we played came down to the last over. So it was really exciting. Obviously, very nerve-wracking for myself being a coach. But yeah, it was fun and exciting. And we had some overseas players coming that weren't here last year. Do you want to talk a bit more about where everyone came from?
Yeah, so we had, as I mentioned before, we had Australian, South African, Sri Lankan, Indonesian, and Vanuatu girls. It was 3 of us were lucky enough to go over to South Africa actually to play in a series that they held called the Global Cricket Tournament, myself included, and that's where we met the 2 South African girls that came over, who were great additions to each of their teams as well. And with the new signing that we've had with the Sri Lankan Cricket Association,
Yep.
We had 2 of their girls come over, one being actually the captain of the Sri Lankan A side as well. So with these additions, it's definitely bumped up the standard, as well as learning about their different cultures and experiences, cricket, non-cricket related. Was definitely great to hear. Also playing with and against some of the girls in our region as well, especially Indonesia and Vanuatu, they definitely helped bring some competition, some friendly fire to the teams, but also their input, especially, I think, helping the captains out with fielding and their own experiences as well, I think helped the teams and the girls quite gel quite quickly. And of course, our 2 Australians, they're coming back for their second year, and they just fitted right in straight away. So that was great to see again.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking from the perspective of my team, those girls that came into our team were just lovely. They fit right in, they gelled, they were laughing, they were helping our girls out. So yeah, it was definitely a bonus having them in. And the big benefit is, strengthening our region is what we want to do if you want to be competing in World Cups in the future. So yeah, it was all positive from that experience. Just speaking on the individual awards from the T20s, it was all the Western Eagles taking the prizes out. It was our Japanese player Erika Oda who took out the best batter of the tournament, scoring 71 runs in those 3 games. The bowler of the tournament was one of the Sri Lankans you just talked about, Satya Sandipani, who took 5 wickets at an average of 9 and an economy of 4.7. And then the overall MVP was Rachel Andrew, who was one of the players from Vanuatu. She took 4 wickets herself and scored 83 runs. So, yeah, it was good having them come along for sure, but it obviously helps our Japanese girls. And you said you were about to talk about one of your favourite memories and highlights was one of those moments.
Yes. So favourite moment, or I guess the one that really resonated with myself, was one of our Japanese girls, Karuna Iwasaki. She comes from a baseball background, and obviously, like every other Japanese player, we train hard. We're quite committed, and the effort was great to see in terms of training in the game scenario, considering she came in the super over of our very first game as the last batter. She needed 11 runs off 5 balls, I think it was, and she ended up getting out there 4-6-1, winning it for our team in the very last ball. And it was just great to see that her efforts had actually paid off, and she was able to showcase that during the tournament. And I think all the Japanese girls, regardless of what team you were in, were quite proud and happy to see that the training had come in handy and her efforts were appreciated. So it was quite lovely to see, as well as the international girls as well. I think we had Satya from Sri Lanka. Her fielding was outstanding in both series, in the T10s and T20s. And after a couple of games, I know a couple of us girls lined up next to her, and she was teaching us how to do a catch and dive roll, which we all tried to imitate, although we weren't as smooth as her. We're quite robotic. But it was definitely great to learn a new skill from her as well. Christelle, coming from from South Africa, took a fifer in the T20 decider, so that kept our hopes up as a team. And then Nanda from Indonesia, her efforts with the bat on the T10 series was quite incredible to watch. So all the girls put in their efforts, and it was just great to see it all come out during the tournament.
Yeah, lots of great contributions from everyone. And if you haven't already, please go check out these games. They're all on our YouTube channel, Japan Cricket. You can watch the full games or the shortened highlights, 6-7 minute version. So yeah, go check them out. Last couple questions. So what's this tournament going to look like in the future? Is it here to stay? Are there going to be changing formats or anything like that?
Yeah, so with it being our second year, we're definitely trying to improve it every year, but also trying to keep some sort of consistency. So the girls also know what the format and the teams will be looking like as well. With the numbers that we had this year, we're hoping to include a couple more teams in the future to get more of the Japanese players, as well as introducing more international players in these series as well. So hopefully in the future, instead of 2, we'll have roughly like 4 teams, which would be great to see more competition, more friendly fire as well. And in terms of formats, I think the T10s, although it was new to most of the girls, I think a couple T10 games with majority being the T20, I think would really help with the girls, especially in the batting and the bowling sense of keeping it tight, but also for backing to be able to hit those big bombs wherever they can during a small time frame as well is quite beneficial for us in a learning factor as well. So we'll see where it goes, but definitely trying to engage more players from Japan and also from around the world as well, and also the fans. So hopefully we can get some more interaction with the fans and players as well, so we can see some sort of growth there as well.
Yeah, I think one thing for sure is having it in May is a lot better than July, where it was like 40 degrees last year. Okay, so for the last question, that is the end of the JPL talk, but that's not the end of Japan Women's Cricket. The season's only 2 months in, so what do we have looking up in our schedule?
Yeah, so we've got a couple of our national women camps coming up each month, as well as the Women's Japan Cricket League matches, which is our normal club games. So we've got a couple of those heading into June, July. Obviously, with the heat coming out, we will need to take a bit of a break so no, everyone doesn't overheat in the 40 degrees that we might get. But then we've also got the J-Bash All-Stars held at the Sano International Cricket Ground. Then followed by the J-Bash All-Stars and the hardball event for beginner cricketers that will be starting in July. And then that will also lead into the J-Bash Challenge League for any first-time cricketers to play with a hardball. And it is a modified match, so the rules are slightly modified, but it's more aimed for any beginners wanting to try hardball before they go into the league matches. So we're looking forward to some teams there, and hopefully we get a good outcome from it.
Sweet. So lots happening. Thank you again for coming on, Eleanor. And we'll look forward to the near future.
Yes, thank you.
Sweet. All right. So I have my last guest with me. It is Dougal Bedingfield. Dougal is the cricket community manager and also the head coach for the Japan men's team. Welcome, Dougal.
Yeah, thanks for having me, mate. I know you're a popular guy, but I actually didn't know you had your own podcast. So
no, it's not
That's news to me, and I know when you're that popular and young and desirable, you need to get your content out to your fans. So, yeah.
It's more that Alan was too busy to run the Japan Cricket podcast now, so he just handed the reins over to me.
So you're the new Alan. Okay. New and improved.
Well, hopefully. This is only my second time, so it's usually always starts off pretty bad, but yeah. So I've got Dougal alongside me to talk about a couple of the tournaments that happened. It's been obviously a very busy month of May. So first off, we're going to talk about the JPL, which Dougal's all in charge of as the tournament director organizer. If you don't know what the JPL is, it's a 5-team, 3-day T20 comp, bringing in all the 5 main regions that happen here in Japan cricket. That's North, South, West, East Kanto, and then Kansai. So you want to just initial thoughts of how the tournament went this year in general and what the standard was like?
Well, I reckon it was the best domestic tournament we've ever held in Japan. People might disagree, but I think the standard of cricket, the spectacle that all of the teams put on was fantastic compared to anything we've done before. Even other versions of the JPL. I think it's like the 9th season of the JPL. Right. And we're still trying to improve it every year, get it right. But I thought there were probably 3 things this time around that went into it being a really good tournament. One, you can't really control is the weather. It's absolutely beautiful. No rain around, and that just made things so much easier and good conditions to play. The pitches have probably been a bit of an issue in the past, contributing to a few low-scoring games. The pitch is still not perfect. They're still a bit low, still a little bit slow, but hopefully we're getting there and improving on some of the pitches we're producing. And there weren't really any games where both teams struggled to get to 140-ish. And in the past, we've had probably some low-scoring games that weren't that entertaining. And probably the third thing was just the general standard of, batting, fielding, bowling. I thought was better than it ever has been. And some of the players coming from overseas really contributed to that this time around.
Yeah, for sure. Just to add on to what Dougal was saying, I was part of the North Kanto Lions, and although we didn't really have a great tournament, it was really great to see from the year one. My first year was 2022 to where we are now. There's a huge difference in that. So I'm happy that it's improving every year, and the quality of players we're getting over, as we'll be soon to talk about, is getting better. And it was the first full year I've been a part of where we had a full tournament. There were no rain delays or anything. So it was great to see. Do you have any special highlights or favourite memories part of the tournament? Obviously, you're the head coach of the East Kanto Sunrisers, who won this year. They were unbeaten, actually. They were they had that one draw. but they were unbeaten throughout the tournament. Any favourite highlights?
That was a bit of a highlight, that tie, I guess. I thought we were in a winning position in that game against your boys, the North Cunto Lions, who probably underperformed throughout most of the tournament, but on that occasion really showed a pretty amazing fight to bring it down to the wire, and there's a run out at the end. Still need to see the replay on that run out. But it was a tie. So really, really exciting cricket, I suppose, for fans watching. The other highlight, I think your team might have been on the wrong end of it. The first game, our recruit from overseas, Josh Brown, for the Cumside Chargers, got away and got about 120 in very, very quick time on the main ground. So you can still watch that on YouTube. Perhaps watch the highlights package of that game. It's amazing, clean hitting from a guy who's done it in the Big Bash and in a couple other leagues, and now to see him do it in Japan was pretty cool.
Yeah, obviously Josh Brown, star of the Brisbane Heat, now part of the Melbourne Renegades, came over, and he just, from his first game, he was just smashing balls effortlessly. I think he broke a window, put a dent into our tea room. So it was obviously I was on the wrong end of his amazing knock of 100 and what was his high score? It was 124 that he got against us. But obviously, even though you're on the wrong side of it, it's amazing to watch him just hitting the ball effortlessly over the boundary every second ball. So it's a great watch. Some other personal accolades. Obviously, Josh Brown, he got the best batter of the tournament. The bowler of the tournament was Sunrisers again, Ibrahim Takahashi. He contributed a bit with the bat, but mainly with the ball, taking 9 wickets in that tournament.
Oh, well.
Yeah, I think as well as taking out the MVP in the final against the South Cunto Super Kings. And then the main MVP for his all-round performance, he took 1 wicket, was Kendall Katawaki Fleming.
Another highlight is 1 wicket getting his younger brother out in the final. It's pretty funny.
Bragging rights.
A shrewd bit of captaincy bringing himself on. He's 1 over.
I think we can say it was overall a positive tournament, to say the least. But to think ahead in the future year, what will this tournament look like? Because there's been rumours of, just disbanding all the different regions and making it just 5 teams with the best players. What are your thoughts, and what do you think this tournament's going to look like in the future?
Not sure if the tournament format will change or not. One thing that's clear is that these players coming from overseas really do drive up the standards of the tournament. So we probably will be looking to bring more quality players in from overseas, regardless of the makeup of the teams. Still lots and lots of good players in Japan, but it just feels like these top line players coming from overseas really do make a difference to the quality of the tournament and the spectacle. Even other guys like Hassan Sada played in your team, quality leg spinner, was a really good player in the tournament. Porshan Kulasuri coming from Sri Lanka as well. Not sure how your team didn't win it, actually. A lot of good players.
Yeah, it's always good on paper.
Yeah, well, next year, mate. Yeah, but we do want to each team to have players of that kind of caliber represent the team, and really also kind of teaching or demonstrating to the other players the skill level and the standards required to play top level cricket.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you haven't already, please do go check out all these games on our YouTube channel. You can watch the full games or just the shortened 6-7 minute versions on YouTube. Before we move on, is there any other comments you'd like to make on this JPL or anything else that we didn't talk about?
No, I've probably covered most of it. I just thought it was an excellent tournament, and it's the kind of level that we want to show to the world, and we'll be looking to improve on that in years to come.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. That's it for the JPL portion of things. We're going to move on to straight after the week of the JPL. We the Japan men's team faced Mongolia. Mongolia were an unranked, really unknown cricket team that came over for a 7-match series. Just to recap, what happened was one of the games got abandoned after half the game was played, but Japan pretty convincingly won 6-0 over Mongolia. I'd like to get some thoughts from the coach. How did the series go in general from both sides?
Yeah, I think this is the first time I guess we'd run a series like that. This like a bilateral T20 international series, 7 matches. So it's a good block of cricket. It's kind of the start of something to come. We'd like to be running these bilateral series more and more often. And first cab off the rank was Mongolia, who are very much starting out in their cricketing journey. As anyone who saw in the matches probably worked out. The skill level's probably not there yet, but they have great enthusiasm and ambition to get better. I guess every country's got to start out somewhere. The series was very one-sided, obviously, so more of an opportunity for our boys to get some runs at international level, take some wickets, get their confidence up, and work up some little things that we need to improve the team as well. Going forward, we'd probably like to be playing stronger opposition if we can, and I'm sure next time we face Mongolia, they'll give us much more challenge as well.
Yeah, just from a player's perspective, obviously, there wasn't much of a challenge from our point of view, but from a player's perspective, we're just challenging on ourselves to not worry about how they're playing, but how we are playing ourselves and try to improve our little things that we didn't do quite well early in the year when we were in the Asia Cricket Council tournament or the East Asia Cup facing Hong Kong over there. So you can't effort their enthusiasm. Even though they lost every game, they were all pretty enthusiastic after every game.
Good bunch of guys. Well,
yeah, for sure. We had some personal accolades and milestones coming from this series. We had 4 new debutants, Alistair Katawaki Fleming, Abdul Samad, Kiefer Yamamoto Lake, and Ben Ito Davis. Do you want to just talk about the 4 debutants that we had?
Yeah, all of those 4 guys have been waiting in the wings for a while for their international debut, so it was fantastic to see all 4 of them get the chance to play for Japan. All quality players, different kinds of players, all of them. Kiefer, younger brother of Lockie Yamamoto Lake, who Japan cricket fans know very well. He's a tall, fast opening bowler, and he showed his attributes in the 3 games he played. Star of our under-19 team, and expect to see more of him in the future. Abdul Samad, quality left-arm orthodox bowler, who's really dominated some of the Japan domestic tournaments, and he showed his stuff on the international stage, and he'll be around for a few years to come. Ben Ito Davis played a very high level of cricket in Brisbane, where he's spent most of his time. Very classical, kind of technically correct player. Bats, bowls off spin, great fielder. So we're really keen to turn him into a T20 weapon going forward. And probably the surprise for some was Al Katawaki Fleming making his debut. Kind of come from pretty far back and had a really good JPL. Scored plenty of runs for the South Country Super Kings. So got his opportunity as a middle order batter. Did pretty well, I must say. Scored.
Yeah, for sure. All these players, like you said, contributed really well. So it's not going to be easy for you making decisions on selection in the upcoming tournaments that we have. But that's always a good problem to have, isn't it? Some other highlights from the series. We had Sabo, who felt like made 80 not out every game, who scored 273 in his 4 innings that he played over the tournament. We knew he was due a lot of runs, and it was good to see him score big in this tournament.
Yeah. He really, as I said to the boys, he really showed us how to bat on probably a slower wicket. He plays the ball really late, and he gives the ball to different areas that other players can't. So he's our best batter throughout the tournament. It's really good to see Lockie Yamamoto late. Come good the last couple of games, score runs, striking at 200. Koji Hargrave Arbe in a new role in the middle order showed his ball striking ability in one game, number of sixes. So we might have found a spot for him there. So it's a good one for us.
Yeah, absolutely. And then that was with the bat. And then with the ball, we had Charlie Hins, who took out the MVP for the whole tournament for us, taking 13 wickets. He was pretty much an unknown player last year before the Futures League, and now he's like a future mainstay for the next 20 years, I think, for Japan cricket. I'll talk about some of his...
Yeah, he was a bit too good in a few of the games for a 15-year-old to kind of dominate that the way he did. It's pretty impressive, and good to for him to get a little bit more confidence after he's played against some very good teams in international cricket. He's not scared of, but he got hit around a bit by some of the Hong Kong boys, and good to see him just apply himself and get his just rewards there. Carlos Stafford also chipped in with, I think he got 9 wickets in the end of it.
Yeah, he took 1-5.
They couldn't hit him. So,
Yeah, and I'll just...
young boys.
I'd just like to mention one more milestone that happened during the tournament, and that was leg spinning legend Makoto Taniyama taking his 50th international wicket. I think he's on 53 wickets now, which brings him on to the second most international wickets for Japan taken. Thoughts on the legend of Tani?
He's a superstar, isn't he? He's been around for so long, we forget what he can do as a leg spinner. Just a quality cricketer. So still young and improving his game.
Yeah, absolutely. Just to finish things off, we've talked quite a bit. What's coming up for the men's national team for the rest of the year, Dukes?
Well, the focus really shifts to late in September I will get the name of this tournament right. It's very long. The ICC Men's T20 World Cup 2026, I believe it is. East Asia Pacific Qualifier B.
That is a mouthful.
To be held in Incheon, Korea this time around. So that's our focus, and we'll be selecting up in the squad of 14 for that tournament. Heading to Korea in late September with the aim of qualifying through to the next round. Fans of Japan cricket, the games will be live streamed, I'd say, on the ICC TV app or website. And those of you in Japan, very short plane ride over to South Korea. If you did care to come and support the team, watch any games, the ground very close to Incheon Airport, very short taxi ride. Get off the plane and watch the cricket. Back you go.
Yeah, we were just over there a couple of months ago helping curate the pitch. Well, what would that look like, the ground?
Well, we got a sneak preview of the pitches we're going to be playing on, didn't we? I don't know. What do you reckon?
Well, I was talking to Rock, who was actually over there a couple of weeks ago, and he said they've started growing grass on the pitch, so it's a good sign. We're 4 months away, 3 months away, so yeah.
But it's I really like the ground over there, the Yonhoi Cricket Stadium in Incheon. It's kind of been left for a few years without much international, even domestic cricket. So really good to see some top level cricket being played there again. So can't wait for it.
Great. Well, I think that just about wraps it up. But you are the community cricket manager for Japan Cricket. So what's happening in Japan Cricket right now? Tournaments and what's on the schedule for the next couple of months?
A heap of club cricket still happening, junior cricket, senior cricket, men's, women's, university. If you check out Match Centre on the JCA website or download the JCA app, you can see lots of fixtures you can go and watch, or if you're thinking of joining a cricket club, do so. I reckon the JCL T20 is going to be a highlight for most of the fans watching. All of the games live streamed here at the SICG. A bit of J-Bash All-Stars coming up at the end of the month as well. It's always good to watch. I reckon those are the ones tune in for.
Sweet. Lots happening here. Thanks for coming on, Dukes, again. You'll probably be on soon again, but thanks for adding your insights and comments to this.
No worries. And I hope we'll see whether you or Alan attract more of an audience.
Yeah, well, hopefully having you on does that too. So, cheers, Dukes.
All right.
Sweet as.